let's move and talk about the impact that you had specifically in terms of staff turnover. I think it is the biggest or the second biggest problem that most senior living organizations face. So tell us about what it was like when you got there and what it's like now and what you've done.
Well, I think the biggest change that I've seen in my time here, and I think I can speak for Dean too, is just how we approach people. We don't always have
So I'm going to stop you first. So Dean, you gave me some numbers, and I want to actually hit those numbers first because I want to talk about the contrast. So when you got there, you were losing. I'm looking for this. You're retaining only 25% of your first 90 days, and now you're retaining 70%. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing number. So now I've set the stage. I'll shut up again.
Okay, so now let me tell you. Okay, so how we did that. So we knew that we needed to create a culture of caring, truthfully, not assuming that people were trying to do bad things or that they were trying to intentionally not get to work, because at the end of the day, I come to work and I want to do a good job. I have to assume that everybody else wants to do that too. There's no reason that I would think that somebody intentionally just isn't going to come to work just because. You know, maybe they've got some other things going on in their lives that are keeping them from coming to work. Or maybe they've got something at home that's, distracting them while they're here so that they can't do a good job. So it was really important to Dean and I that we just got out, met with people and got to know them, got to know what was going on in their lives, and to get them to trust us to kind of share what we could truly do to make it better. It doesn't mean that it's more pay. It doesn't mean that it's more time off. It means that I can make a difference in your life, and I'm going to make things easier for you, maybe here and at home. And so when you come here, you really believe in this place and you're passionate about this place and you want to do a good job. But if there's some reasons you can't get here, let me help you do that. So maybe you've got one car, I'll never forget this, one car for 5 working adults in the household, and you're late every day because you're the last person to get dropped off. And guess what? You're getting written up because you're tardy. Well, let me give you an Uber gift card or a Lyft gift card so you can get your own ride here so that you're not late. The plan is that you're going to save money to get another vehicle. I can't give you rides, all year long, but I can give you something to help you in the meantime. And so I think that we really just started focusing on people as people and with real life situations that we could help them through because we care for them. And in return, it's easier for them to care for the residents. I mean, of course, we've done things, putting new things into our orientation process, changing up how we mentor people, how we welcome them to the community. But I think the biggest thing was that we were able to genuinely care for people wherever they were in their lives. And I think that we've become very respected for being able to do that.
I also think that one big initiative that we put in place was identifying people in their first 90 days. And so when someone's hired new, you have to wear badges. And under the badge is a green ribbon that says, what does it say?
Living it, learning it, Ohio, loving it, learning it, Ohio, living it. That's it.
And what that does, the green identifies that person's new to our community. And so in order to create an environment where everyone feels safe, that they belong, and that, that they're welcome, we started to implement this in our first 90 days. And we didn't just announce this to the team members, we announced it to the entire campus. So when residents see the person, they go up and say, hi, how are you? See that you're new. It helps me a ton because the way my schedule goes, I don't make it to all the orientations. I don't think I've been in like a few months just because I'm all over the place. So I'm able to see the new team members, go up to them. I know that they're new. I know their names because our HR team's doing such a wonderful job getting the names out there, welcoming new team members. I think even the fact that we've increased the amount of communication and we're doing it digitally as opposed to sending just a posting and say, hey, post this in your areas. We implemented an e-newsletter that's monthly. We do a hard copy of it too. So there's really no way that no one's not getting the information.
Can you talk to me a little bit about your onboarding process?
So for us, of course, we're actually in transition right now. We're getting a new we're getting new recruiting software. So our process might change a little bit, but what we had done when I got here is I wanted to make sure that our hiring managers were well educated, I guess, and informed on how to even select the best candidate in the first place. Because I don't want the candidate that's just got the most education or the most years of experience. I want someone that has the will to come here and do a good job rather than the skill to do a good job. And so we first learned about how to hire the right person. So I think that's the first part of the onboarding process, is getting the right people in here in the first place. And so once we get through all of that, it's really important that that person feels welcome. So what we do before they ever start, once they've accepted their offer, is we send them a card in the mail with a gift card in it. It's a $5 Dunkin' or Starbucks gift card. And it says, you know, we're so excited for you to start your journey here with us. Thanks a lot, Dave, for joining us. And so we want them to be able to go and get a coffee on their first day or whatever, think of us, and be like, hey, you know, I feel welcome before I even walked in the door. On their very first day, we do put them through a 2.5-day general orientation. And to a lot of people, that sounds like a lot, but I'm not doing you any good if I'm just throwing you out there.
Right.
I'm setting you up for success this way. And so they sit through all this orientation time, and our staff educator does a great job of actually pulling different directors in from different areas of campus to just talk to the new folks and explain to them what they do and how the campus functions. Our campus is huge. It's literally like a small college campus. And so we take them on a tour, they get on a bus and they see how huge this place is, because it's important for them to understand what they're a part of. It's not just this one building, this one office, this one location that you're a part of. It's something much bigger. And so I really think that by having everybody participating in onboarding, getting to know different faces, different names, it allows them to feel more welcomed and a part of our community and team right off the bat. So I think it all starts from before their first day, and then we're able to continue that feeling of just welcoming and being a part of our culture and our campus on their first day.
So the first 2.5 days is sort of philosophy, your why, paperwork, policies, and procedures, and then what happens
Correct.
after that?
It depends on the department. So we actually just implemented a new, or I guess improved, mentorship program with our nursing department, for example. So we have, I believe, 6 mentors, so some on each shift, that are committed to working with that person for 2 full weeks when they join us. So that person basically works, so like STNAs, for example, they will work the same shift as the mentor for 2 full weeks, regardless of their amount of experience before. I mean, some may need more help, some may need less guidance,
Sure.
but that'll allow you to have a person that you're comfortable asking questions to, because it's a scary world. The second you step out on that floor, everybody expects you to know everything, and you're afraid to ask when you don't know something. So we've eliminated that, because I really feel that people were leaving because they were afraid to ask, and then they weren't performing, and so then they would just exit themselves before something else happened. So we wanted to make sure that we corrected that right away by giving them a partner and somebody that was a good resource to them right out the gate. So I know we have similar programs in housekeeping, culinary, and all of that, but the STNA program is just an example.
That's cool. That is really, really good. So you've been doing this sort of new way of doing things for how long now?
About a year.
About a year.
Yeah, because Billie started. So I started here in June of 2018. Billie started in November.
A year ago today.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah.
The other funny thing is, we both replaced tenured directors. So I replaced the executive director that was here for 31 years and is like a legend. And my office is still called Dave's office. And then Billie, probably about 3 years ago, the HR director retired after about 35 years. And then I think we went through a couple HR directors in that time period. So we were still probably stuck on the previous HR director that was here for 30 years on her policies and procedures. So it's been about a full year since we've been together. And I would say January is when we really started to just implement these small minor fixes to the orientation and onboarding process.
So do you have a sense of what your overall annualized turnover is, what it was and what it is now?
We just pulled those numbers yesterday. I have it right here, I think.
I have a monthly turnover thing that we just did, but I know for this month is our lowest monthly turnover since I've been here. It's 0.9%. Yay, which is awesome.
0.9%. Wow.
0.9%. That's monthly. But when you have 450
But
people,
that's 0.9% about 10% a year, right?
Yeah, if we were able to sustain that, yeah.
Yeah.
It does increase and decrease. That's okay. I know pretty much in my head. But we've had several months with almost 5%, just being totally honest. But we are, I really feel that we're heading in the right direction. Like I said, there's peaks and valleys, but I feel really proud of our most recent turnover number. So
that's amazing. It really is. It is. So, but
yeah, and like some months fluctuate because of turning over PRN people, and that still counts to your overall turnover. So usually we have months like that. It's usually February and March when we do that cleanup. Just on people that haven't worked in a year, they're probably not going to work.
Well, I would think that most people wouldn't count your PRNs as part of your turnover, right? Because how can you really do that? So
yeah, there's some that we do consider off book. But the most of them I do count just because I want to know who's leaving and who's not.
Well, I mean, I think in some sense it gives you, as long as it's consistent, it gives you some benchmark. We have a mastermind, I have a partner, Denise Boudreau-Scott, who does leadership development and works on culture. And she and I run a high-level mastermind group, and we spent 2 days at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples. And they run about an 8% annual turnover. And the way they count, they have two buckets. They have full-time people, and then they have seasonals. And the seasonals, obviously, there's a lot of turnover there. But as long as they complete their seasonal contract, so if they're 6 months seasonal and they go all 6 months, that doesn't count against their turnover. And so it can be done. And I mean, it sounds like you're doing a terrific job. So what else should I be asking you about? Do you have any words that you'd like to say to other millennials?
Wow, I didn't think about that. So I've been in that mindset a lot lately because I'm actually, I was asked to do a keynote speech at a graduation ceremony for a nursing school. And I'm like, what the heck do you want me to talk about? So that's gonna be fun. I think my word to millennials is, be who you are. Who cares what your hair looks like? Who cares, what you look like? As long as you're comfortable in what you're doing and who you are, be the best version of yourself every single day. And whether that's, my motto is be kind, do the right thing, and everything's going to be okay. And that's really the approach that I think most of us need to take. Don't get frustrated, too, because I think what we see a lot of times too is we can see someone doing a job that we know that we can do in a minute as opposed to a whole week, and not getting frustrated through that process and letting people learn through what works best for them, but then also to then help them and coach them and guide them along the way. I think showing that we're able to support each other and that we really are truly about making a difference is just, it's really who we are and what we're all about.
Cool.
Yep. And I would probably say, I would just say to surround yourself with the right people, because I think that makes all the difference. No matter where you are, no matter what industry you're in, what place you're at, you're going to have naysayers and you're going to have people that are working against you. But you've got to surround yourself with the right people, and it's all going to be okay. We all have hard days. We have great days. But if you have the right team and you're working towards something that you're passionate about, that you feel is making a greater difference, you're going to be fine. So you just got to find that space in those people, and it's all good from there.
Well, listen, thank you. This has been amazing. I talk to you and I just go into my Thanksgiving holiday with great hope for the senior living industry. Very just amazing hands. I think that if I'm still alive when I'm 100, I'll be able to look back and say, oh, I know those people when they were just kids and they have revolutionized how we do senior living. And so I thank you for what you're doing and your passion and putting up with us us boomers sometimes. So
It's all good with me.
anyway,
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much. I appreciate this. And it'll be probably, I'd be surprised if I get this out before Christmas, but I'm going to try. I've got 2 more trips I've got to do, but I'm going to get I'll send it in for transcription and start working on this, maybe even on the airplane home. So, and if that happens, it'll be earlier. So anyway, have a great holiday. Have you already done your Thanksgiving celebration for your community, or are you doing that tomorrow?
So the residents, they do it all at different times. So some have already happened, some happen. But then we don't do a big one with the employees because we have a gigantic Christmas party that we've been planning. And we're doing a lot different this year. We're actually doing it off site, so no one has to work. Obviously anyone that's working in nursing has to, but we have a pretty big party. We actually had RSVPs last week and we already have 310 RSVPs.
Wow.
So,
does it include spouses or significant others?
Not this year. Next year we want to expand it. We have a big community center on campus, but it's undergoing a major renovation, so we had to hold it off campus. So we had to be a little bit aware of budgets at that point. But it's still going to be pretty awesome. So we're looking forward to that. And then thank you for your time, and honestly, thank you for your support to us, because I know I shared with you in San Diego that anytime I see an article that you write that comes out about millennials or just younger leaders, I send it to her and we just discuss it because it's so true what you're saying, and we appreciate you for saying what most of us are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really do. I think you have a better, saner view of what it should be like to be working in senior living. I do so much about, well, you got to hire the right people, and I do think there's some truth to that, but mostly I think people are either good or bad because of the environments they work in. And so you can take and hire really great people and then put them into a terrible environment and they're going to be terrible employees. And you can take pretty mediocre people and put them into a great environment and turn them into great team members. And so I just think we have to be so careful. I think we make or break the quality of the teams mostly. And the fact that you're getting this kind of turnover, you reduce your 90-day turnover really speaks to that. So
thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So I really am. So anyway, thank you very much. Have a great holiday. Appreciate your spending the time with me. This is really cool stuff to write about. So
thank you.